Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Tattoo Bud, and welcome to the channel. In today's episode, we got a really cool review for you guys. In today's episode, we got the new CNC Kronos. This is a stroke adjustable tattoo machine that has so many new cool features, and I just can't wait to show you. So, without further ado, let's just dive down and have a look at this machine. So as you can see, we got the beautiful box from the CNC Kronos right here. There's a nice zipper. Open it up and let's see what's actually inside this little box. Right here behind a little bit of the foam, we got the charger and the user manual, which we're not going to use in this video because everything is so easy. We got some spare O-rings if they dry out, break, and things like that. We got a spare battery, which is very convenient if you run out of battery, of course. The display is on top and the buttons on the side, which is also a very cool feature. And this is the actual machine. And look at that beauty. It has a nice thick bullet grip that actually has a little bit of weight on it, and that actually makes it very comfortable to use and to hold on to. As you can see, you got a power button plus and minus button right here on the side. The display is on top. And if you hold that power button for about 3 seconds, it will start up the machine. The display is on top, like I mentioned before, a nice color display that shows voltage, hertz, and the time you have been tattooing. Now, of course, if you short press the power button, it will start to run. You can also see a pause and a play button that indicates if the machine is running, because this machine is very quiet. Of course, with the minus button, if you short press it, it will go down in increments of 1. If you hold it, it will go a little bit faster, and the machine will go from 4 volts all the way up to about 12 volts, which I'm pretty sure you're not really going to use it at. Like I said before, this is a stroke adjustable machine. Currently, it is on the 4.5 millimeter stroke. Now, I did already reach out to CNC and said that it would be very nice if they actually made the numbers a different color or put a box around it that has a different color, because it is a little bit hard to see, and especially if your machine is wrapped, it might be even harder to see. This machine will go in stroke length from 4.5 all the way down to 2.7, and it goes in increments of 0.3 pretty much on your stroke adjustment. So a very good range for nowadays tattooing. So I have been tattooing with this machine for the past week because I got it in the mail last week, and I really wanted to test it because it just feels so good. They put a lot of weight in the grip. So maybe when you take it out of the package, you might think, oh, this is a pretty heavy machine. But then once you really hold it and start working with it, all that weight is in the front. And I have complained a lot of times about machines that have a very heavy battery on the backside, and that makes it very top heavy. So it puts a lot of strain on your wrist. Now, of course, if you are used to coil machines, this may not be the case. But since it's a pen machine, there's a lot more stress on your thumb and your fingers rather than on your wrist, what you have with a coil machine, or at least that's what I am usually noticing. So it is nice to have that weight in the front. So it really makes this machine balance very nice. And also when you run the machine, it gives pretty much 0 vibrations. This is on 4 volts, but let's crank it up a little bit. We'll go all the way up. So this is 12 volts. This is when it starts to vibrate a little bit, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be using this on 12 volts. And once it gets around 10, vibrates even less. It is really barely vibrating. One thing I did really had to get used to is you need to put a little bit of a higher voltage on. It's also a benefit. It's just something I had to get used to, because this the way this voltage works is so smooth. It runs super slow on a very low voltage. As you can hear, it shows on the hertz meter 66 hertz. So 66 hertz on 4 volts. Then when we go up, this is at 8 volts, it's 118 hertz. So I have been using this for lining somewhere around the 8 volts. Shading I did around the 6.5, 7 volts, and it actually worked really well. Really enjoyed using this machine. I used a couple of different strokes because I did a couple of different tattoos. I did some fine line stuff, some more bold lines, and I think it's a really big benefit that this machine can actually go to the 4.5 millimeter stroke. I have told this in many videos where I reviewed a stroke adjustable machine that I wish the stroke adjustable machines would go beyond the 4.0 or 4.2 millimeter stroke that most of them are going to. This one is to 4.5. So far, I think I had one other machine that went to 4.5 millimeters, and I also thought that that was probably the strongest one out of the bunch. Now, I'm not gonna do a very big test on practice skin. I am gonna show you a couple of things, how this machine actually works, but I don't want to make the video too long, so I'll quickly show you if this machine can line some bold lines and things like that. Just really short and simple, just so you can see that it actually works. I also got some needles from CNC. We got the new Fuego. We got a 10 7-round liner. 10 means it's a little bit thinner than if you have a 12, so it might be a bit more tight rather than a standard 7-round liner, but we're going to use those. And then we also have a 9-round Magnum, also a 10, so it is a little bit softer than a 12 or. So we're going to be using these for the testing. I also have a 11-round liner and a 3-round liner just to show you a bit more a finer line and a bit more stronger. So we're going to start with a 7-round liner. This is the Fuego cartridge. If you want to see a more in-depth video about these cartridges, make sure to let me know in the comments so I can make a video for you. We're going to start on a 4.5 millimeter stroke, and like I said before, I'm going to use it at about 8 volts. And adjust the needle depth right here. So just to show you, because these lines are pretty fine, I want to show you if this machine can push some bigger needles too. So we got an 11-round liner, same thing, same voltage, same stroke. Let's go to a bit of a thinner line, and I'm gonna set the stroke to 3.9. Let's go to the 9 Magnum. This is the Dimension cartridge from CNC. Actually really excited to test these because I've been looking for a good needle. think these are fire. I'm gonna keep the stroke at 3.9, by the way. I'm gonna set the voltage 6.5. As you can see, there is quite some distance between the dots, so you could go up in voltage a little bit. So I'm gonna use it at about 7. I'm gonna do a little patch right next to it just to see if we can see any difference. I think it's going in smoother already. Now for packing, I do like to go a bit slower. So let's say 6. I'm gonna keep it at 3.9 still. Even on the practice skin, you can hear that this machine barely vibrates. You barely hear anything when I hit the skin. All right. It's there, not as solid as I want it to be, so I'm gonna switch to the 4.2 just so we have a little bit more power. On real skin, I didn't really notice that much of a difference. On the practice skin, I feel like I'm lacking a bit of power. So let's do it again. There you go. Sounds a bit stronger already. You see that immediately makes a difference. It punches in that black so much quicker, so much better than under 3.9 on the practice skin. Now it does shade very nice on the 3.9. But yeah, that was just a quick look on that this machine can actually tattoo really good. So let's go back up top, talk about it a little bit more. So that was the review of the Kronos by CNC, and I have to say this is by far probably one of my favorite stroke adjustable tattoo machines that are on the market today, and one of the very best stroke adjustable machines that I have used. And as you may know, I have used a lot of these kind of machines, and this one is absolutely my favorite. The balance is absolutely amazing. It has a lot of power, and it is just very comfortable to tattoo with, and that is something that I feel like CNC is always hitting spot on. They might not have as many machines on their website as some other websites do, but they are really good in what they are doing, and they are not making half-ass things. So I'm pretty sure that it doesn't really matter whatever machine you buy from their website, you're not going to be disappointed with what you are buying. And I think that is a very strong selling point on CNC. Also, the quality of their machines are very good. And yeah, that is also why they are being sold on bigger websites, European websites, US websites, and not only on their own website. They are one of the bigger brands from China that have been around for very long and not wasting money on producing a whole lot of machines, but just pure quality machines. And I think that's very, very important, especially in the tattoo industry, because you need good tools to do good stuff. And like I said, very comfortable to work with, very nice and smooth transition in the voltage. I also had that with the E77 Pro that I used. Very smooth in the voltage, a nice range. With this particular machine, I had to use it a little bit more in the higher end of the voltage. This is not something that I'm used to, but it's not that I need a lot of voltage for this machine to have power. It's just because otherwise it's a little bit too slow for me. So it's nice that you can set it a lot slower, especially if you're doing pepper shading and things like that, that you can really lower that speed down and lower that voltage to where you can create nice dotted patterns, for example, or your shading, or it doesn't really matter what you're doing, but it is nice that you have that option to go really slow. Now, of course, as usual, if you are interested in buying this machine, I will link it in the description down below, as well as a coupon code to give you a extra discount whenever you're purchasing this machine. I will have a link to their official website and an Amazon link, so whatever you feel like using, it's in the description down below. Now, as well, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe. And it would also be nice if you guys could go over to my Instagram and actually follow me there, which it's also in the description down below, and give me a follow there, and it's very much appreciated. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot more to say other than I wish you all a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.